Hey there, YouTube! I've had a couple of questions recently asking why I'm not playing Meteor Maker or putting out much content for it, and the answers are pretty simple. One, it's a game that is just a little rough around the edges right now. So I'm kind of hoping for an update that hits in June to kind of fix a couple of things, but I also feel like there's some design philosophies and such that are making it a little bit hard for someone like me who likes to build buildings, actually build something that is creative. Right now, the trap sets that are available in the game are quite limited. They're easy to break. In fact, I would argue they have a shortened fuse timing in terms of people are able to escape way too easily away from traps, which makes it really, really hard for you to set up traps to kill people. Now, with that being said, you can try to set up like 2 to 3 traps at a time and try to surprise them and whatnot, but the point is players have just gotten better and they're outsmarting traps like crazy, which makes it hard for me to find replays. Whenever I want to put a replay out, I'm looking for someone that's about of average skill, but there's too much of a gap between new players and veterans. So I either get replays that are new players that are just walking on the most basic things, which I don't find very exciting as a person that creates bases. In fact, I feel like it's a little bit mean to even cast those and make them into content. And then you have veterans who kind of just speed run and run through the traps. There isn't a middle ground, and there isn't an average player that's kind of in the middle between the two because of how simple the traps are. So my hopes in the future is that whenever we get a few more changes, we get some more rotations going on, there are some abilities to add verticality to your bases, there can be potential for us to build more cool creative content. But for right now, it's just a bit too rough, and part of that is because of the Harvey system. The Harvey system is in the game to make sure you don't have to play your own replay before you launch it into the game. As long as Harvey has a direct path to the gen that you need to pick up, you can release the map, and it's good to go, right? The idea behind it from the developers is they mentioned they want to make sure that players can get in and out of their bases quick and make adjustments, but it's caused a lot of boring, stale metas. All we have is a bunch of Furnace Blast users. You, of course, have the Horde mode where you have tons of creatures, up to 20, being slammed into a room, trying to beat you down. You have corrosive cubes. You have long, narrow areas that are just loaded and overbearing and considered a death trap by many in the community. And so the unique and creative bases get played less, and because they get played less, people create less of them because they're looking for more kills. Now, the algorithm has been adjusted a few times, but it's gotten a bit tiring, to be quite frank with you. I think I've been through a total of 5 patches trying to feature the algorithm and how it's working with matchmaking and how they display raid bases that could pop up. But sadly, I haven't seen anything that really applauds or allows for creative bases to be showcased, which is starting to become an issue. In fact, I'm going to go into a brutal base right now and just show you by walking in. This is the first brutal base that I have picked, what it looks like. Okay, so after running around and grabbing the vaults, this is the base that I picked off in brutal. And this is pretty much what 4 out of 5 brutal bases will look like. It's some kind of trap that's set up, loaded in corrosive cubes. It's going to be a bunch of punishers slamming you. You're going to have minions inside that are shooting the entire time, and furnaces. Now, there are a couple ways to beat this, of course. You can go for arc barriers. You can slowly work your way down. The point is, it's boring. It's not fun. It's not very rewarding. I run through this, and I walk away with maybe 250 to 350 Senite, which I need about 800 to 900 to build a base. And this will take me about 15 minutes to beat through if they use all of their components available to them. And to be quite frank with you, after 1 or 2 deaths or clearing out the first area, I'm just kind of over it and not wanting to pull it off, right? You actually have to buy equipment, you have to build items, you go through this stuff, and it doesn't feel worth it. It doesn't feel rewarding, and it feels like it's too copy pasta. So what I would love to see in the future are a couple of changes that allow more creativity, some things that allow for folks to be able to add verticality to their bases, because right now Harvey is kind of the limiting factor. See, you run into these bases and it's full of sentinels and furnaces to lock you down, and they're meant to slow down people that are rushing in, and that's fine, but I really wish I could see more from the game. I want to see creativity in this game. I want to see people play with verticality. I want to see like wind boost. I want things jumping around. I would love to see Meteor Maker kind of step up and be this awesome game that we all know it can be. But right now, it's just lacking, and that's why I haven't created any content. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the future for more Meteor Maker whenever they have a patch in June. But for right now, let's focus on other games.